Hey, welcome back, guys. After a 3-week-long layoff, Power Book 2 finally returned with an episode defined by uncomfortable changes. We witnessed Tariq fighting his way through the system and Lorenzo charting his course free of it, and the courses of his family, much to their chagrin. I'm here to break it all down in typical Top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, GTFO. The Tejada family conducts a welcome home party for Lorenzo, complete with games, drinks, and a series of tense dialogues and situations. These were compounded by Lorenzo's overt praise of Diana and Drew, the latter of which has been chosen as the heir apparent to his father's empire. Among the subtle chaos was Zeke's arrival with some of his teammates, Everett included. Monet sends Drew on a drink run and directly confronts Everett. She scolds him for dropping Drew's name at the tail end of last season and harshly sends him on his way, stating, quote, "Get the fuck out of my house." WTF moment number 9, big girl, little girl. Monet confronts Diana regarding Lorenzo's release and her stolen money. Diana boldly states her reasoning and steps out of bounds with Monet upon her revelation that a man's life was the price of that stash. Enraged and feeling more powerless than ever before, Monet hems Diana up by her throat and assures her that such a tone defies all knowledge of who she's fucking with. Diana further challenges her mother's apprehension to Lorenzo's return, and Monet sends a second person out of her home. She's 2 for 2 thus far in this one. WTF moment number 8, the whole board. Tariq utilizes his prison time to assess his predicament and the players who put him in it. Kane easily came to mind, but with some help from his spirit guide and former street mentor Kanan, Tariq surmises that it was Monet working in tandem with her son to frame him. Similar to how Tasha directed Tariq's moves while on the inside, Tariq's train of thought is correct, just flawed in who Kane's true puppeteer is, who we know is Mecca and not his mother. WTF moment number 7, Civil War. Monet enlists Davis for information regarding Tariq's double murder case, hoping to avoid any connection if he goes down, with $250K up front and $250K to come per Davis's request. Then, she confronts Kane about the fiasco, who admits to his role in framing her distro. She stresses the ignorance of his actions and devises a plan with him to gain the remaining balance for McLean. She agrees with Kane's suggestion of Brayden and informs her outcast son that Lorenzo and the rest of the family must be left out of the equation. Fearing loss of independence, the two agree to go rogue in the interest of themselves and not the family. This is a dangerous position because a house divided cannot stand, and the Tejadas are in their most fragile state given how things are shaping up. WTF moment number 6, free the guys. Tariq gets a visit from Tate, courtesy of his lawyers, and convinces the crooked councilman to bless him with his influence in order to gain bail and make good on his Sweeney promises. Tate apprehensively agrees and promises to scorch earth on Tariq if he doesn't make good this go-round. Then, Tariq gets his wish as an overwhelmingly lenient judge allows Reek bail, hiding his backdoor deal with Tate behind BIPOC liberalism and support. This maneuver noticeably raises Sachs's antennas against his client and possibly jeopardizes his situationship with Jenny Sullivan, the lead prosecutor on the same case. WTF moment number 5, keep it a buck. Tariq finally makes it back to Stansfield following his bail release and vigorously confronts his second-in-command for his involvement with Kane that led to his arrest in the first place. Brayden comes clean for his Kane exploits, admitting that he had no idea it would blow back on his partner in such devastating fashion. Tariq strongly rebukes Brayden and demotes him from course correct and their drug business overall. Interestingly enough, Tariq questions Brayden's street motivations as if he was forced into the same life that they both chose, something Brayden reminded him of. This conflict was bound to explode sooner or later, and it's honestly healthy for them to hash things out now because there's no going back from here. WTF moment number 4, friends turn to strangers. Lauren finally catches up with Tariq following his release, and they have a tense exchange regarding Lauren's distance in Tariq's darkest hour. She admits confusion towards him after such a shocking event, and to being influenced by outside opinions over her own internal feelings for him. Tariq further loses faith in her after she fails to choose loyalty to him, and he presents her with an ultimatum. You're either with me or against me. Her silence leaves him with nothing but the latter to go on, and the two part ways painfully. WTF moment number 3. It's over. Monet and the Tejada family have another collective dinner and go over fun times long past. The festive state surrounding Lorenzo's return leads Monet to finally break things off with Mecca. Mecca doesn't take the news well at all, threatening to reveal his true relationship to Zeke if Monet doesn't come clean to their son. She wants him to stay away from her and Zeke for the good of everyone. Yeah, this psycho-ass nigga about to turn up in the season's climax. WTF moment number 2, bossing up. Lorenzo meets with Kane under the assumption that he'll be the bridge to the connect. However, upon arrival, only his eldest son is in attendance. Flabbergasted by the glaring absence, he questions Kane, only for his son to declare that he is in fact the connect as far as Lorenzo is concerned. He then further flexes on his father for choosing Drew over him to rule the family business. Lorenzo professes his love for Kane and proceeds to castigate his choices in business and personal shortcomings. He then makes Kane choose, you trying to be my boss or my son? We'll soon discover where Kane's true loyalties lie. And WTF moment number 1, Ghost in Flames. Tariq shows Effie the letter Ghost left him once incarcerated. He conveys to her that his father knew him better than he knew himself. She then suggests that maybe his knowledge of Tariq was flawed, offering more hope due to his story being unfulfilled. Reek ponders on what his muse said, reads the note one last time, and sets it ablaze, forever extinguishing his father's posthumous notions of the son he never truly understood. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The title of this episode was What's Free? And we were shown how that looks most through Lorenzo's liberation. His freedom has initiated a new framework for the Tejada family that all but eradicates what they've come to know as reality for the past decade. And they'll all have to get used to the new normal. What's going to make this new dynamic even more compelling is their capacity to accept Lorenzo's law as the de facto head of the household, something that Drew, Kane, Monet, and Diana to a lesser degree are going to have friction with as we progress through these latter episodes. The opening celebration segment was masterfully shot and depicted the tension brewing between all parties in grand fashion. The varying connections created much conflict, specifically with Lorenzo's choices over Kane, and Guap's uninvited appearance and the lingering tension that followed that. Well done indeed. Tariq's visit from his fallen mentor in prison was expected, something I discussed in my second half preview breakdown a few days back. We've seen Kanan earlier this season helping Tariq cut ties with the phone that started this whole investigation, and likely will again whenever Tariq finds himself in a bind. It makes sense given that Tariq was street poisoned by Kanan in the first place, but it sure would be refreshing to see a ghost man apparition here and there. I can't say why that hasn't taken place, but while we're on the subject of the legend himself, happy birthday to Omari Hardwick, the man behind the GOAT, still holding out for your return, even if it's an effort in futility. Caridad Milgram's behavior has really placed her in most hated territory. The way she speaks all matter-of-factly on things she really doesn't know, along with her swiftness to condemn a young black man to a fate worse than death, contradicts everything she says she stands for. And maybe that's the point. The irony of her character is that she feigns support and love of young black men while utilizing them for her own selfish gain and benefit. Her history with Zeke would explain as much. And now she's cool with Lauren being compromised so long as she isn't harmed by the shrapnel of the past. Rest assured, Carrie's date with Destiny is coming, and it won't be soon enough from where this commentator is sitting. That is, if Lauren doesn't get to her first. She looked like she wanted to knock that ass out during their classroom confrontation. What y'all think? I think Lauren could take her. Cooper Saxe is at an interesting impasse in this episode. He's teetered on the line between being a good lawyer and an ethical one. Those former tendencies are gnawing at the lawman, and he'll have some tough decisions to make in the realm of private practice and commitment to duty going forward. I suppose it is difficult to subdue one's nature, but Sachs made his choice when he decided to work for a man who doesn't require ethical solutions. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled on his character's leanings. Thus far, he's approached Tariq with an energy reminiscent of Terry Silver to the Ghost Man. Nothing but skepticism as opposed to blind defense. His history with the St. Patrick family undoubtedly factors into this equation as well, but we'll see how it goes. And lastly, Tariq proclaiming that Brayden is playing at street life is the pot calling the kettle black like a motherfucker. And I'm glad Brayden didn't let him get away with such a glaring contradiction. But like his father, Tariq has shown himself to be a complicated young man, rife with contradictions, and the audaciousness to point out other people's flaws, but never his own. Rumble, young ghost, rumble. And that'll do it for this one. What were your thoughts on What's Free? Be sure to drop them for me below in the comments. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.